Alright gang, we've got another new house introduction on the channel. Are you enjoying this series of videos? Do you like being introduced to new houses? Today I'm talking about Eternal Journey fragrances. I've spoken about this house on the channel here and there, and I've highlighted one of their fragrances. And also in my Essence 2023 overview video, I discussed this house as well because I got to meet up with the brand and they did give me a overview of their fragrances and gave me the concept and everything about it as well. But I first discovered this house in Paris at Javoy last year in 2022. So I've been curious to talk about them. I've been interested in talking about them here. And I also got to, check out the fragrances earlier this year when I was in Paris once again. But either way, the fragrances are created by a spiritual house DJ by the name of Pierre Ravin, and he collaborated with two Firmenich perfumers. I'll let you know who they are once we get rolling here with the video. But three different fragrances: Sunrise to Sunset, which is this one. We've also got Sunset to Midnight, which is this one. And then finally, we have Midnight to Sunrise, which is this one. So find out all about Eternal Journey fragrances. You're going to find out about a giveaway as well, open to USA and EU subscribers of this channel. So please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today we're talking about Eternal Journey fragrances. Started by a spiritual house DJ by the name of Pierre Ravin. He created three fragrances with two different perfumers at Firmenich. We've got Hamid Muradi Kashani. His name comes up quite a bit here in fragrances. Even one for Zara recently I mentioned. And also another Firmenich perfumer that Pierre Ravin collaborated with, Elias Hermanides. So two perfumers from Firmenich plus Pierre Ravin came up with these three different fragrances. And the unique thing about these three fragrances are they're supposed to be worn one after the other if you're changing your fragrances. And I feel like they've captured the idea pretty excellently because you're starting off with a very fresh fragrance and then you go to a bit of a deep fragrance and then even a darker, more fragrance with the third fragrance here. But let's go ahead and talk about Sunrise to Sunset first. This is Sunrise to Sunset, as I said earlier. This is with the blue cap here. And you know what? To me, this calls to the idea of blue skies because it's blue and the fragrance is called Sunrise to Sunset. It's also a burst of freshness here. It kind of has an energizing vibe and really uplifting smell as well. This fragrance utilizes notes of ambroxan, bergamot, cinnamon, musk, orange blossom, ebony wood, cardamom, neroli, and petitgrain. So basically, it's almost like we're paying tribute to the bitter orange tree using neroli, using orange blossom, petitgrain from this tree, and making a fragrance with it. Those are the focus and star notes with this fragrance, but along the way you're adding, ambroxan for its muskiness. You have for a juicy citrusy touch with the bergamot. There's some warm spices with cinnamon. Of course, you've got muskiness here. The fragrance is uber musky, especially since we've got musk and ambroxan, but there's also cardamom in here as well for a fresh spice. So you have these fresh notes working with this fresh spice to give it some depth to the fragrance. And then of course, as the fragrance is drying down, it does get woody and also, warm spicy as well with the cinnamon. And of course, don't forget the musks. This is a very musky fragrance, but this smells super amazing. It's very, very soapy, I should say, but let's go ahead and quickly smell this. So Sunrise to Sunset, I think they've got the great color of the bottle because totally it reminds me of blue skies, waking up in the summertime with blue skies. Yeah, this is really, really great. If you like the idea of citrus trees and the flowers and everything, because it's very white floral, but we're focusing on the white flowers of the citrus tree. This is not white flowers like jasmine or gardenia and things like that. Although sometimes I kind of mistake jasmine with the white flowers of the citrus tree. But this is definitely citrus florals. It's an orange blossomy fragrance. And it smells super amazing. Really, really clean. Very, very soapy. There's some sweetness there from the flowers as well, but has some aromatic touches. But of course, this does settle to woods and muskiness. And of course, the ambroxan has a bit of an ambery touch as well. And then the warmth appears a little bit. There's definitely some warmth from the cinnamon. But this is really, really great. This is not my favorite of the bunch. I'll tell you what my favorite is soon. But this is a solid citrusy fragrance. It's got that kind of ethereal vibe, I think, that's running throughout the first two fragrances here. But uber soapy and also a bit powdery as well. So Sunrise to Sunset is the first fragrance. Next up, we've got Sunset to Midnight. This is it right here in the red bottle, well, I should say red juice and red cap. But this one also, I feel like it's captured perfectly with the coloring of the cap and the juice. And it makes sense. It's in the afternoon, evening, sunset is red, kind of, and it totally makes sense. And I feel like they do transition from one to the other perfectly with some of the notes that are appearing in sunrise to sunset to midnight. But this one is a lot warmer, but not necessarily as warm as the third fragrance. And this is my favorite fragrance of the bunch. I really love this incense for this fragrance. The incense is the kind of incense that's really welcoming and inviting and definitely very wearable. If you've been following me, I have been mentioning that I am a bit challenged with incensey fragrances as of late. Just the ones that are just about incense, darkness, smokiness, and things like that. I want some contrast with my incense fragrances to make them more inviting and wearable. The dark stuff, I don't want to smell like church. And I grew up in church, so I was going to Christian Orthodox church, and there I smelled incense plentiful. So I kind of don't want to smell like church unless, like I said, there's some contrasty things like, let's say, for example, Baby Cat from YSL. You've got the incensey touches with the sweet vanillic touches. Vanagloria very similarly with the incense, and then of course the vanillic touches, and something like Royal Incense as well with the honey contrasted with the incense. And this I feel is kind of similar as well. Definitely not as dense as those fragrances because, as I said, this does have a bit of an ethereal quality, but it does get ambery in the dry down, a bit boozy and lightly fruity as well. So it features notes of labdanum, myrrh, woods, incense, ambroxan, nagarmotha, musk, candy, apples, rum, and iris. Yes, it's definitely got a powdery vibe, and the first fragrance does have a powdery vibe as well. This is a bit more powdery, but let's go ahead and smell this. For sure, for me, it's incense, but very inviting, very sexy as well. The ambroxan adds this sexy layer to the fragrance, but as the fragrance gets, ages on the strip or on the body, it does develop into an ambery touch, but along the way you'll experience some of the fruitiness from the apples and also the booziness from that boozy note. Really, really great fragrance. This is definitely a top-notch incense fragrance for me, and I really, really love it. I think if I want to wear an incense fragrance that's like day in and day out, this is it. It doesn't have that density, but it has some depth with the fact that it does dry down to an amberiness when it's drying down. But a wonderful fragrance. So this is Sunset to Midnight, my second favorite fragrance from Eternal Journey. And last but not least, we've got Midnight to Sunset, this one right here. So this is the darkest fragrance in the bunch and also the warmest. It doesn't have that freshness of the first one, and it also doesn't have an ethereal quality like the first and the second fragrance. This one definitely has more depth. Also for me, I felt like when I was wearing it, it reminded me, or it kind of had a reminder of something like holiday-ish. Like there's a major dosage of cinnamon here, and the cinnamon really comes through and it gives you a bit of a holiday-ish vibe. But when you first spray this one, sandalwood is pretty prominent. In fact, the fragrance is very sandalwoody, and at once at the beginning you kind of are reminded a little bit of something like Santal 33. But it does disappear because the warmth takes over and covers it up, and you're left with sandalwood, but not the kind from Santal 33 that is very popular out there. But this has notes of cinnamon with iris, tonka, cardamom, sandalwood, patchouli, musk, balm, cashmere wood, oud, saffron, pink pepper, and amber. But this one definitely, like I said, holiday-ish vibe. Also a bit of amberiness. We've got the amber and the balm note or like balsam note. But you'll have a lot of spices in here. And of course, we've got powdery touches here as well with the iris. Let's go ahead and quickly smell it. It does get to become a bit leathery as well because we've got some saffron, but loads of spices with this one. Cinnamon, cardamom, and pink pepper. Very, very spicy. And of course, it does have vetiver in the mix, which I forgot to mention. There's vetiver and cedarwood as well. So this is the woodiest of the bunch, but warm spices galore, powdery to the max, and then of course some muskiness there as well. Definitely a nice release, but this is my third favorite of the bunch. The way that I'm ranking this list is Sunset to Midnight is my number one favorite. We've got Sunrise to Sunset as my second favorite. And then we've got Midnight to Sunrise as my third favorite. But I would say it's pretty close to the second place because I enjoy it. But I think number one is my favorite all the way, because I really love the way that smells. I would wear it. I would actually buy that fragrance and wear it if I didn't have these here. So that's all I have to say about these three fragrances from Eternal Journey. Have you sampled this house yet? Do you know anything about this house? Do you know anything about Pierre Ravon, the DJ, the spiritual house DJ? Do you even know that genre? Let me know. I wanted to add some music to this video, but I'm not going to be able to access any of his music because of copyrights. But let me know what your thoughts are on these fragrances and which one would you choose if you had to pick one. Which one sounds really great to you? Put a comment down below so I can find out. Now let's do the giveaway. So to participate in the giveaway, all you have to do is put down what you liked about this video and which fragrance you would pick. That's the first thing I need you to do. Then put down which prize do you want. Do you want a full bottle or the Discovery set? And if you want a full bottle, which bottle do you want? Put down your country as well. This is an EU and USA giveaway. So in the EU, put down your country. In the USA, put down your state. And that is it. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well so you qualify. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. This is Eternal Journey Fragrances. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Put some comments down so I can find out. And then stay tuned for more new house introductions on the channel. I've got plenty lined up. And hopefully they'll all do giveaways as well, like this one. This is a really great giveaway, and you get to decide which prize you want, a full bottle, or you get to experience all three fragrances the way they're supposed to be worn, one after another. You know, when the fragrances are finished, you can try the next one, and then when the other one dries down and disappears, you try the next one. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.